1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, hello again. After some brief pause period when I had to release my my latest YouTube video, I thought I might stream some more a bit. By the way, do tell me if you can hear me alright, if anybody's here. So yeah, I haven't been booting this system in quite some time. Basically ever since our last live stream. So first of all, it needs some upgrades. I've already upgraded Pac-Man, so now mostly flat packs. I know that my streams are a bit irregular, but it is how it is. I don't necessarily have a tight stream schedule. Okay, I think everything is upgraded. So now the question is, how the hell do we even get started with Battle.net on Archlinux? Basically, one of the viewers joined Discord and said he has problems with playing WoW on Linux. And it seemed interesting enough to me to check it out. Sadly, he is on a laptop, so I can't really, for me, laptops are basically places where dragons live, so I don't necessarily can confidently troubleshoot that. But yeah. So how do we even get started? I think I've heard that bottles can do it, but I have very poor bottles experience. Add it as non-Steam game to Steam client. Force use Proton launch install. Oh yeah, because I also have a hero. I wonder if this also does Battle.net. So what libraries does Heroic support, or maybe stores? It does it not support Battle.net? Or maybe it's just me being an old geezer and not saying Blizzard up. Excuse me. GOG, Epic, and Amazon Prime. Because I am pretty sure that Blizzard doesn't have official Linux client. I'm pretty fucking sure. Okay, so what even is Lutris? Lutris is compatible with any up-to-date Linux system. It relies on Python 3 and GTK libraries and will run on any desktop environment. Packages are provided for current Linux distributions. In some cases, Lutris will be available without adding additional software sources. Make sure to install Wine and drivers. You know what? I actually am pretty tempted to try the Steam method. I wonder whether it will work. I mean, imagine having a Steam as a dependency. Let's just try it like that. Not really working. So everybody is suggesting this Lutris thing. I mean, too bad this doesn't work, because this is pretty pretty interesting, or maybe it does work. Okay. I mean, it's probably downloading the version of Proton. It works? Oh boy. That is pretty amazing. That is pretty damn amazing. We'll see how far we'll go, actually. Okay, now for the login time. Please let me just... Oh shit. There is a slight problem with that, to be honest. How do I do this without doxing myself? Or even better, do I still have my Battle.net password saved somewhere?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do it like that. I will type in my password. Jesus. It's pretty long, I know. And now for my email, I will try to obfuscate it for a second and we'll see how that goes. I mean, my email leaking out is not necessarily a problem, but still. Okay, let's give it a second to cook. It seems it worked. Oops, an error occurred. Okay. That doesn't bode well. Okay, maybe let's try exiting. The question is, where did it install? I'm quite curious, where did it install? So what was that path I saw in the properties? So that might not be a persistent path. By the way, we can do... And I think we have it. I think the Lutris might have been an easier option. Does it even remember my login? Or no, it doesn't. Maybe it will remember now. Because it may just be a separate app and separate data path for now. Okay, I think it's it doesn't matter. If I show you my Gmail address or not, it's not necessarily my main Gmail, just so we're clear. So I think even after all of this, we are simply not able to install any or download any game. Okay. So we can try this Lutris thing. Okay, Lutris. I think it is as a Flatpak available. Let's see how that goes. I mean, the Steam method might have worked some time ago. And I would say it's pretty genius. All in all, but still, sadly, it doesn't seem to be working now. Okay, it's downloading some things. Interesting. I mean, it's all like guiding you by hand, but I have to say the amount of things, like third-party dependencies, we are installing just to get even the Battle.net launcher to work is frightening me, to be honest. And for some reason it's slow as hell. You know what we can do in the meantime? I mean, 20 minutes, goddamn. And let's hope I'm logged in. I am. Just because I don't necessarily want to watch YouTube ads. I've recently seen some Ordinary Gamers drama, and I am quite, I would say, I think this is where it started basically.
Welcome.
And I am quite fond of, maybe not necessarily fond, but about dramas where people basically steal valor, you know, stuff like that, when they basically over-exaggerate what they've been doing at work or stuff like that. So with Pirate Software, it's been a funny ride, right? To basically watch it. But this is something new. I mean, I've never even realized that this guy claimed to be a developer or have an engineering degree. But turns out there is some drama about that. We will see. I've basically watched like a part of this vid.
I'm Nicantros. If you've been following some Ordinary Gamers or Mutahar's behavior the past year or so, you might have noticed that something is up. He quits Twitter suddenly, causing people to panic, and then rejoins Twitter quietly months later. He says he won't buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and then instantly buys one when it comes out. There was even that time he disavowed his longtime friend, Naxtaku, but then he took the video down and apologized. Apparently he overreacted to a video criticizing him for watching lowly hentai with Naxtaku, and not for anything else.
Wait, you showed
Yeah.
more in those videos?
That's a video I'm still
I mean, it's 2025. Can we stop getting cancelled by hentai?
working on, and this video you're about to watch right now is a little appetizer I've cut out of its body of research, because it was getting too bloated as it is. Anyway, despite saying he would quit drama, not only did Mutahar return to drama, he decided to join forces with Ethan Klein to go after Hassan Piker. It's an odd choice because Ethan doesn't exactly have the highest opinion of Mutahar.
Do you have the part where Mutahar runs out?
By the way, I've completely disassociated from H3H3 after the Filthy Frank era. So I'm completely, I don't want to say completely in the dark, because I do sometimes follow some stuff that iDubbbz does, or the anti-iDubbbz responses, because, you know, it's been weird this couple of past few years. But it turns out in the YouTube world, when you have more than 1 million subscribers, everybody has at least some sort of opinion on somebody, which I find interesting.
Outside with a gun?
I don't, but
I'm like, dude, these people are insane. Boogie's not even the craziest one in that room still. There's a point where Mutahar goes, oh shit, is someone stealing my car? And he runs outside with a gun. And then he comes in 30 seconds later and goes, oh no, it's chill, it's just my brother.
Oh my
Like,
god.
this pseudo badass weird fucking shtick he's doing is not it. And frankly, he's so mean-spirited and nasty, and he has this weird thing where he needs to act like cool and that he's so successful and rich. He tells Boogie, dude, why don't you upload more? I upload every day and YouTube's not even my job. I was like, shut the fuck.
Yeah. By the way, let me just maybe, because I don't think we'll be watching this for 40 minutes, but basically this quote is so good when you want to debunk somebody saying bullshit. And I don't necessarily want to be that guy, but you know, doing YouTube is very time consuming and hard. I would say if you are not hiring some editors, then it's very, very hard to claim that you also have a full-time job during the day. I think the most of the YouTubers that actually do YouTube content, and maybe not necessarily know, but the ones that I've basically started researching before I personally started YouTube, were like, yeah, I'm just recording stuff and I have, you know, I don't know, an editor or maybe two to basically, you know, chop together the videos. Because aside from that, it's near impossible to release videos, I want to say, on a weekly basis even. I mean, it can be done, but you'll be burned out very, very quickly. By the way, we have an error. Failed to extract. End of stream. I would like for you to try again, because that download speed was suspiciously slow.
Bro. I think he thinks his real job is being a day trader. I might be wrong about that, but I mean, that's pretty funny. But like, yes, it is. Shut up, bro. I'm uploading every day. Ugh, I really got turned off by Mutahar in that one, man. Really did.
So Mutahar is a poser and he lies about having a job outside of YouTube. Those are pretty heavy accusations. But who has the time to watch through over a decade of videos and streams to check if he's telling a consistent story? I certainly don't.
It's also amazing that those people get exposed after like 10 years. Where in those types of videos you basically clearly see after, I don't know, 3 or 4 years that stuff does not add up. But it's always like this very, very long time frame. I think Pirate would also be similar to that. But he basically started drawing too much attention to his claims, which is amazing.
But I know a much faster way of achieving the same end result with only a few hours of effort. I can just search all of his video transcripts at once for certain keywords and timeline the claims he's made.
I play video
AI
games and
is
scratch my
awesome.
balls most days when I'm not working. I wake up, I scratch my balls, I do my job, and then I fucking play some video games. I wake up, scratch my balls, play some Mass Effect, make a video, and like do some of my stock work, and that's it. I wake up, I scratch my balls, and I play some Mass Effect, okay? I wake up every day, I do my job, I scratch my balls, I play around with Linux, some video games, and that's my life, dude.
Before we get into it, isn't this stalking? Isn't this a violation of privacy? No. I am going by information Mutahar has made public through pieces of media he's voluntarily published on his YouTube channel, or public media appearances he has consented to. I'm also using information from a video that shows his LinkedIn page, which is something he seems to be cool with. He can do whatever he wants in his private life, but if he's claiming to be a doctor or an engineer to make his perspectives more valuable to an audience, validating the truthfulness of these claims about his life become a matter of public interest. If a history channel was receiving undisclosed funding from a foreign state, publishing that information would be in the public interest, even if that knowledge was gained through violations of privacy. Violating someone's privacy to humiliate them by exposing their porn browsing habits would not be in the public interest. But I haven't gone there, and I don't need to. I also completely disavow and denounce any kind of harassment or actual stalking behavior. Based on my findings, Mutahar has consistently claimed that YouTube isn't his job.
Hey, YouTube isn't my job. Thank God my job isn't YouTube. YouTube is not my job. 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 I use YouTube as a hobby. This is not a job for me, okay?
He works a regular 9 to 5.
Like, I work a regular job every day. I go to my office, I work, I come home, I cut together the video that I recorded the night, you know, or 2 nights or whatever before, and I post that on the internet. It is a therapeutic, fun thing for me.
So what is that job? If you ask Mutahar's fans, they think he's a cybersecurity expert, an IT professional, a video editor. Ethan said, day trader? There seems to be an awful lot
of cybersecurity experts these days. I mean, I think I've noticed that during the past 2 years, almost every major internet persona that claimed to be cybersecurity expert has their story turn out to be exactly like this.
of uncertainty about this definitely real job that Mutahar has. Mutahas also insisted throughout his career that he is an engineer.
I'm an engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm only an engineer. Okay, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm just an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm just a fucking engineer. I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. As an engineer, being an engineer, I have to tell you as an engineer. I'm just a dumb engineer as an engineer. My engineer asked, but as an engineer, so I'm just a fucking dumb fucking engineer. Like, I can go over, like, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. As an engineer, I'm an engineer. As somebody that is an engineer, as an engineer. I'm saying I'm the number one engineer as an engineer. As an engineer. Right, as an engineer, I'm just an engineer. Speaking of somebody that is an engineer, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer.
But there's multiple types of engineers, so what kind of engineer is he?
I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. Dude, I'm a fucking computer engineer.
I'm a YouTuber. Why are you asking me?
I'm just like a computer engineer by default. Like, I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a fucking computer engineer. You want to talk about cyber warfare? I'm a computer engineer by trade. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. No, I'm a computer engineer, okay? I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer.
In the United States, people throw around the word engineer like candy, but in Canada, it's a bit more protected, especially in Ontario.
Yes, I also have noticed that in the US the engineer is not necessarily a title. It's like a job title, which is weird.
Where Mutaha lives. Now, I do want to give the disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer or a Canadian. I'm just a guy who looks stuff up online, and based on what I've read, it's actually illegal to call yourself an engineer if you are not a licensed engineer. The Ontario Engineering Regulatory Body, Professional Engineers Ontario, claims to take offense to even titles like software engineer being used instead of software developer, but they do make an exception for terms like train engineer, broadcast engineer, or sound engineer, which are not professional engineers in the same way that a computer engineer or a civil engineer would be. Calling yourself a computer engineer to a public audience is like saying that you're a civil engineer or a mechanical engineer. You might as well call yourself a doctor or a therapist. For Mutaha to be a licensed computer engineer, for him to be able to legally call himself a computer engineer or an engineer in general, he would need a 4-year degree, 4 years of training, and to pass the National Professional Practice exam. If he had just a degree...
By the way, let me just quickly... I may need to change one thing in the stream. Oh no. Okay, sorry. I had to basically verify some settings on my transmission.
Then he could only call himself a computer engineer graduate. This is where things become a little bit difficult, because Mutaha is apparently not just a computer engineer.
I'm a video engineer now. I think I know how this shit fucking works. Speaking out of an engineer, like, if I wasn't a computer science engineer, I wouldn't speak about Elon being an idiot. But as an engineer, yeah, I'm gonna call him a fucking idiot, because he does do idiotic statements. This is why, as a cybersecurity engineer,
A computer engineer is very much a real thing, but a video engineer or a broadcast engineer isn't a real professional engineer. While computer science graduates often work in
I mean, if you cannot properly remember your title, or at least the major you've graduated, that seems pretty sketchy to me. By the way, just so you know, I have a computer science degree. I have engineer and masters, and this is the point where I whip out my trackpad and I start drawing this in Paint and explain to you how titles work.
software development, sometimes called software engineering, computer science isn't an engineering discipline. So computer science engineer doesn't really make sense. Cybersecurity engineer is once again using the word engineer as just a...
I mean, computer science engineer does make sense. Because, for example, I've attended like a computer science course, or basically, you know, it's called computer science, and then you have like a specialty in some field. Hi, what we're watching. So supposedly there has been some expose on some another pirate software like guy, Some Ordinary Gamers. I mean, I think I've used to watch some of his vids maybe 7 years ago or something like that, maybe some gameplays. But I didn't realize he's basically, I want to say not necessarily saying truth about his education and his background. And it does not necessarily make me angry, but I do have this scratch, this itch that needs to be scratched when somebody is basically lying about their higher education. And we are doing this mostly because we are trying to run Battle.net, and for some reason the download speeds are really slow. I've run the speed test, everything works fine, but... Oh, Mutahar, right, there are some stuff about him with lying, I don't really understand either ways. So basically I mean, we are fairly early in the vid, but basically the guy says that his story changes, right? Where he's saying that he's graduated university in computer science, or he's either cybersecurity specialist or not. You know, story changes, so we'll see how it goes. By the way, we are watching this on 1.25 because this is like 40 minutes, and I hope this will not, I don't know, stop downloading.
Job title. Mutahar clearly wants the prestige of being perceived as an engineer, given that he's been calling himself an engineer for the past 10 years. And he uses this title to make himself more authoritative.
But I'm an engineer. I know how this stuff is going, so I'm not even speaking out of pocket right here, okay? If you
It's so funny because I'm like 32, 33 at the moment, but I do remember that period in my career or in my life where I basically started crossing out some things from my CV that have been there previously. Mainly, you know, stuff like, because I am not a programmer, I am a system and networks administrator. I haven't majored in programming specifically, but I do remember the time where I started throwing out things from my CV like knowledge of C or C++. You know, basically saying that I know some language, or I am well versed with language, or stuff like that. Like the first thing you learn is like you shut the fuck up about how great you are, because there is always a bigger fish that will basically come and destroy you if you start being like all high and mighty. Oh, I saw that he's been saying so many things like working in a film production, etc. I don't really understand him. I can understand the video production aspect, because let's say if you're doing YouTube for 10 years, you basically learn how to do things. I'm terrible. I don't necessarily learn as I would like to, because my workflows are very inefficient when editing videos. But maybe.
want to disagree with me, feel free, but you're actually wrong. As somebody who is a computer, engineer, somebody who understands computer code, for instance, hearing Elon talk about computers and anything code related is actually mind-bogglingly stupid.
It's not clear what kind of an engineer he is. So, what education does he have?
Understanding code. Like, I love that misconception people have that if you are graduating computer science, that you are basically graduating a programmer course, because the one thing computer science does not necessarily teach you well is how to program or how to know a language very, very well. It depends on the university, it depends on the major, but still.
Like, it's a really good explanation of why, like, I think engineering is like the road to go down when I was studying. I'm like,
so he would have an engineering degree.
I went to university
So blaming stuff on others, amazing.
for computer sciences, and that's it. Education background, asking because a lot of CS knowledge. Yeah, well, I did computer engineering when I fucking went to college. That's what I did.
Okay, so at least a computer science degree.
I thought when I got into university for a while, and I dropped out like a semester in because I was like, okay, no.
Oh, he dropped out after a semester.
Like, I'm a dropout myself. I've never finished university, but I'm not going to dog on like school. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to learn to be if you're going to be an engineer, if you're going to be a doctor.
Drop out after a semester. I'm not sure what kind of curriculum they've had at that university, but in my case, first semester was like 99% math. There was no programming at all.
a lawyer, if you're gonna be in the STEM field, you need to go to university, okay?
You need to go to university to be an engineer, but Mutahar is a dropout. He has no degree.
Were you a computer science major? Yeah, that's what I went to for college for a little bit, dropped out of it, you know? I feel like there's a weird misconception. People think I'm like some fucking crazy degree holder. It's like, no. No, I would have been way more in fucking university debt if I went down that fucking route.
I sure wonder why people might have that impression.
Is it bad if you don't get a STEM degree? Look, I'm gonna sound biased as fuck, but STEM degrees all the way. I'm gonna sound biased because, you know, as an engineer, like, you know, you want to get the degree that's gonna get you a job. You know?
Then did he drop out or did he finish university? This dude speaks, I have no brain cells language. I mean, you cannot say you dropped out and then claim you are an engineer. Like in any you know shape or form. And especially if you slip and say after a one semester, because I do know people that basically drop out on the last semester when they have to write an engineer thesis, and then they have some troubles with their promoter or stuff like that, and that does happen. And I would say that, you know, you may not have an official title, but you may be granted an honorary one. But saying that you dropped out after first semester and then claiming all that stuff is wild.
You know, a good job. Not saying other degrees can't, but like, you gotta be smart.
Sometimes he says he didn't always want to be an engineer.
My biggest thing was I didn't really want to be an engineer anyways. Growing up, I didn't really want to do anything. I actually wanted to do law. I didn't go through law. Honestly, I didn't even want to be an engineer when I grew up. Like, I wanted to be a lawyer for the longest times.
Other times he says he's a former engineer.
So like being a former engineer, like I virtualized.
I get the feeling that, because I think Mudahar also made a response, and I get the feeling that he may be getting into technicalities like, I may not have graduated or finished university, but my job title at a company for, I don't know, some brief time was an engineer. And I think that might be the case here.
Like everything, so I like contain shit. And
Even an ex-engineer.
the coolest ways possible. I'm like a fucking ex-engineer.
But here's the thing. He's been saying he used to be an engineer, or that he worked as an engineer for 10 years.
I wanted to share sort of my engineering background with you. Okay, I worked as a fucking engineer, all right, before I went into this shit. I think I know this. I also like to mess around with technology. I myself used to be an engineer before I went to the video editing route.
Mutahar started his channel in 2012, the same year he turned 18. By video editing route, he means that he switched careers after his channel began taking off.
And the interesting thing about this whole YouTube stuff is it actually made me change my entire career choice. You know, I never really thought of myself as an individual who, I mean, I expressed talents in film production and everything, and, you know, I never really threw myself into it. I did stuff on the side even before YouTube as well. But this really changed me, and it made me more passionate in the whole, you know, video production side too. So now that is my field of choice. Now I work as a video editor. For those of you who don't know what I do outside of YouTube, I do that. I work as a video editor for my own post stuff.
All the programming, cybersecurity, penetration testing work he talks about early on are jobs he supposedly did before he did YouTube, and he didn't like doing it.
Before this, I was a depressed individual, and I was going to go through a certain set path in my career and just go through that and move on, right? And there was a point where I really didn't think there was much else. I was going to go through the motions and everything. And then, you know, to cut down on the stress, and I still have stress issues nowadays, but, you know, back then I had a crazy amount of depression and stress issues. And so to counteract that, I decided, you know, why not do YouTube? And so, you know, one night I went onto the Google Create account and did it, and, you know, and then we started making videos. I told you guys, I'm a guy who used to code bank applications, really boring shit. Now I'm a dude who cuts stuff together. All right, who edits stuff, you know, who does stuff for film, TV, all that stuff. And I can't stress to you all how important that is to me. And you all have inspired me to go out and chase that dream. You all inspired me to fucking sit in front of my computer and make a video when I have some off time, and I fucking love doing it.
Baby Mutahar liked to...
Like, this is so vague and so weird. Like, coding bank applications. Like a calculator. But really, like... so vague.
edit videos. And after starting YouTube, he switched careers from computer engineering to film and television. And this is where his actual education comes in.
I worked in film and TV before I still don't have a fancy fucking degree, okay? There you go, I filmed it, alright? I used my film degree to something.
He calls it a film degree, but it's actually a 2-year broadcasting/videography diploma he got from Humber College between 2013 and 2015. If he went back to studying to get an actual engineering degree, he never mentioned anything about it. Not a single slip. Mutahar was never a real engineer, but he's been calling himself one for a decade because of tech jobs he supposedly had before 2013 or 2012.
Because I never tell people like what I do. Like I never tell people anything, right? Like I don't even tell people I'm not an engineer. I haven't been one for like years, like fucking for eons at this point, right? Like in internet time.
What he
wants to say is, I haven't been engineer since the day I was born. I mean, it's not like I'm getting angry. It's just funny to me because, you know, I also taught people at university. I gave classes. I've done laboratories, and I know how it's hard to sometimes pass some subjects. Sometimes how hard it is to teach people some subjects. So I don't really like when people lie about this sort of stuff and then use it to gain internet fame, or, you know, have some sort of authority when doing some commentaries and stuff.
calls him being an engineer is something he did for only a little bit.
I can imagine, like, for families, like, I mean, just an Indian family alone, it's like, son, you've got 3 choices for what you're doing, all right? You got 3 character classes, doctor, engineer, or maybe a lawyer, all right? Like, that's it. So, you know, I did one of them for a little bit, and then I just pretty much stuck to, you know, this life now.
Imagine if you worked as a mechanic in high school, and 10 years after quitting that job, you're still introducing yourself as a mechanical engineer. From 2015 to 2020, he claimed to primarily work as a video editor.
That's because I'm a fucking editor in real life anyways, so. Ever since I became a video editor, and that was my job in life, I work as a video editor. You know, that's my job.
By trade, what I do for a living is video editing.
I wasn't always a fucking video editor. Am I a fucking passionate video editor? Do I like my job? Yes, I do. My job is video editing. I'm a video editor by trade. No, I'm a video editor. You know, that's how I pay for the strip club and the home.
And initially called himself a video engineer.
I'm a video engineer now. I think I know how this shit fucking works.
It's not a real engineering job, but he was still calling himself an engineer. In 2019, he conflated being a video engineer with being a computer engineer.
I'm a computer engineer, so I really computer a video engineer, whatever you want to call it. I'm one of those people, so...
Again, totally different qualifications. One is an actual professional engineer, the other is a job title. In 2020, Mutahar claimed to be an exceptional...
A very important distinction to make. Job title and educational title. I have to go, though. Thanks for streaming a bit at least. When's the next stream, by the way? If I only had a calendar or a stream schedule, I might finally get around to at least doing 1 stream a week. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, thanks for dropping by.
successful day trader.
Now, for those of you who don't know, one of my side hobbies turned basic, you know, general second profession of mine is day trading, swing trading, whatever you want to call it. I like to sit in the mornings, sip my coffee, you know, go on the NASDAQ, see what I can look pre-market, buy, sell, and be done by, what, 11 or something, and call it a day. Ladies and gentlemen, it's something that I've been doing for almost a year, give a couple months, and it's definitely a very, like, it's a fun part of my lifestyle. I'm a very mathy guy. I do a lot of calculations in my head. I lose money, but I generally have an 80-85% success rate, and that's just the nature.
You know what they say, you gotta spend money to lose money.
Nature of this stuff.
In 2021, he claimed his job was trading and investing.
My job right now, I just sit around and trade and invest. That's what my job is.
But he was still an engineer or a computer engineer. Apparently his dad calls him an engineer who knows computers.
I'm sitting in the room, it's like, when it comes to computers, do you talk about it with my son? Do you act like an intelligent person? Because my son's a fucking engineer, okay? If I'm wrong about computers, I'm gonna believe what my son says because he's the fucking engineer. You're not a doctor. Like, fucking insane, dude.
But he also just sits at home and invests money.
I invest, that's my job now. I just sort of sit home and invest money.
Now, if I was ashamed of only being a YouTuber, that is the job I'd be claiming to have. When asked by guests on his podcast about his computer work, he claimed it's only a hobby now.
I don't know how much you want to delve into this, but like you do, so do you do computer stuff on the side,
No,
or that's your main thing?
I literally just invest money. Like I buy property and I invest, and that's all I do now.
You're at that point now. You're that big of a baller, Buddha.
I wouldn't say it's like baller. It's just like I.
Do you do programming? I don't know why that took me 3 more seconds.
I do it it's more of a hobbyist thing now for me personally. I'm trying to like work around with consoles at this point, like reverse engineer shit that I have.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So that's what I'm into now. It's just like it all has become like a hobbyist thing for me at this point. Like just like for me, I look at it, it's like woodworking and shit. Like those woodworking channels. I'm like, oh, this is
Reverse engineering consoles. I don't even know what to say.
just like me sitting down for 2 hours, like killing time and like
Yeah.
working on a long form project, but not something that I would ever care to ever be bothering doing again, even as a career path. It's just too stressful.
Sure.
It's like boring. Well, compared to anything that we do now, you know?
In 2023, he's calling himself an engineer a lot, just like before. But in March, he claims he just invests money again.
Were you into business before doing YouTube? No. After, like, you know, I worked and then it's pretty much like my job. Like, I worked and then now I have enough money to, like, you know, buy property and, like, invest, and that's pretty much what I do.
In August, he gave the impression he still worked as an engineer.
All right, as an engineer, if I show up to my office and I fuck up, okay, I don't have a job anymore.
But then he also mentions working at his own company that does asset management and property development.
At our company, like not YouTube, but outside YouTube, like when it comes to our main work property and everything, like our like asset management, property development, stuff like that.
So before YouTube, Mutahar did the computer, programming, cybersecurity work he thinks entitles him to call himself an engineer. Between 2013 and 2015, he's studying his videography diploma. From 2015 to 2020, he's a video editor, and from 2021 onwards, he's a day trader, investor, and eventually the CEO of his own company that...
I mean, I don't necessarily want to neither shit on or you know, talk badly about his other ventures, because there's too little information on that, but we'll see how it goes.
does asset management and property development. He's also calling himself an engineer the whole time. We already know he's not an actual engineer, but is he actually a business owner? Because there's some weird inconsistencies in the things he says about it as well.
As a boss, and I don't know, like, this is gonna sound like kind of...
By the way, cannot this be somehow looked up in some public registry? Or does Canada or US does not have that?
cold, but I don't make jokes at the office. I don't make any fucking jokes at an office. I am not this kind of Mutahar, okay? So to explain what kind of person I am, like at the office, I'm just like, how's work? What are we doing? What's the plan for today? Like literally, it's as matter of frank as I can be. I don't partake in jokes. I don't do any of that fucking shit. And if I see fucked up jokes, you know, which I haven't seen, I stop that shit right there. I always have to, like, you always have to be professional at your office. And sometimes you come across as like a deadpan motherfucker, but it's better to be deadpan than, you know, turn your office into like, what I mean is like, I never would have my office turn into like frat house workplace. Like it would never be a frat house.
He would never allow his office to turn into a frat house. But 8 months later...
To be fair, like there is a betting pool in amongst like my office friends, because we do talk about like which gig streamer's dying first.
Yeah, and
Isn't that pretty fratty? Isn't that a fucked up joke?
And if I see fucked up jokes, you know, which I haven't seen,
I mean, that is pretty, I wouldn't want to say unpopular, but also very, very unprofessional.
I stop that shit right there.
Maybe he just sucks at maintaining a professional culture. Could it be possible that Mutahar has been faking having a job all along? Doing daily uploads while being a CEO 9 to 5 is a pretty busy schedule, as Ethan said. When he was on the Unsubscribed podcast, Mutahar made sure to let everyone know he works 9 to 5, and that he's a very serious businessman.
Legitimately still have a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I have a 9 to 5.
Dude, he works in hours and hours. That's what, like, this is why I respect it. How many subs do you have on YouTube?
I think like 3.4 or 5 million or something. I don't know the exact amount.
3.5, like 3.5 million. We'll say that. And you're still doing multiple 9 to 5s where you're running different businesses. You were talking about Q4
Yeah, I'm the
being
CEO of our
extremely
own
busy.
company. Like I'm the CEO of like our own group. We do a lot of like property and like asset investment around where we live. We're getting into construction and everything too. So it's like for us, like my job is a 9 to 5 every day.
You upload how many videos a week?
A day. Like I upload it every day.
This is why exactly, and why I always.
He really loves bathing in that praise, but it's not enough. He needs to flex more.
Well, that's like the algorithm tell, right? Like when you're like an engineer and somebody's like, man, why does the algorithm keep feeding me? I'm like, bro, what's the last 10 things you watched? Gay porn? It's probably gonna give you the 11 videos. I'm just saying.
Driving there,
I don't necessarily get that, but actually, I think uploading once a day is feasible if you do not have to write a script and you are doing very light editing. Then I think it can be done, though I haven't really been up to date with his content for a very, very long time.
We're talking about cybersecurity because that's what you went to school for. You're like, homeboy's very smart. You do actually business, and then YouTube is a
YouTube is always like the secondary side gig.
Then he brags about his charitable donations, and we see behind the curtain how uninformed Mutahar actually is.
Like for me, it's like the receipts. If I could tabulate them up every year, you know, like like during COVID, I probably gave away $200,000 of charity, and it.
By the way, so many cybersecurity experts.
Was like out of my personal accounts. I don't write any of this off for taxes because I don't believe in writing off charity for taxes. I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Writing off charitable donations is a shitty thing to do. How? Why? All that means is that the money you donated is tax exempt. It means you can donate more money to charity, as Brandon Herrera says.
It's a pretty shitty thing to do. Well, for me, it's like
the more money you can write off, the more money you can keep from the government and spend it better, you know, putting it toward more charity.
The money that
How can you be the CEO?
I don't necessarily get what they're trying to say here, what this guy is trying to say here.
Of a company, a serious businessman who knows his shit, but you don't understand basic accounting.
You want to talk about social battery, like 7 is when I get up.
So wait. So they are saying, because I do get that charitable donations can be tax exempt. Right? So this is why I am always very skeptical whenever YouTubers or, you know, whatever personas, internet personas are doing a fundraiser or a charity stream, because that does sound like, you know, the tax year is coming to a close and we need to basically some exemptions to lower our tax we need to pay. And I always do have this orange lamp, or this light bulb lighting up inside of my head, whether this is a genuine live stream or this is just so that you do not have to pay any taxes. But I do not understand these guys that are talking to Mutahar that are saying you should use that exempt and then donate more money anyway. It doesn't work that way. How do you imagine it working this way? Like, you can basically donate money and just not write it off as an exempt. I'm not trying to defend Mutahar, but I don't understand their line of reasoning, to be honest.
I gotta be in meetings every fucking day. My work day doesn't end until like 4 p.m. That's when I get like a chance to open up the Premiere Pro project file for the video, and I get to work on that, and then I get to upload that a day later. Like, I don't believe in days off. Like, I literally can't believe in a day off. Like, I'm always like jittery because I'm like, I want to do work. Like, I really do like enjoy doing work. Like, any day that I don't feel like I do my job, fucking cry about it. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
He works till 4 p.m. every day and cannot take a day off. However, he seemed pretty happy to take a day off to watch a video game commercial from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on a Thursday.
I love to read comment sections in videos. That is probably the best part of doing YouTube content creation, is reading the comment sections of what a video has to offer. You know, as a content creator, the coolest thing is like when you see like 1,000 comments on a video, because I'm somebody that likes lurking internet forums and just reading internet discourse, right? Especially when it comes to topics I enjoy. So when you read 1,000 comments, you're like, all right, shit, let me line up and get ready, boys. Let me read that shit all day.
This guy has a wife, he's a CEO, he works 9 to 5, and he uploads daily. How do you have the time to read YouTube comments from random people? Check this out.
You should be an upstanding, good citizen, okay? I wake up, I do my job, I come home.
Many of the instances where Mutahar says YouTube isn't his job are from videos where he rants about how unstable YouTube is as a job because of their never-ending policy changes. These things supposedly don't impact him. He does YouTube to relax, but he's always obviously upset in these videos. He consistently paints himself as a hard worker.
It sounds like you worked really hard in high school. We're talking about
Yes.
taking night classes, doing community service, like side jobs on the side, like.
Yeah,
can you
no,
help me
it's blurred. I'll help you understand.
He has this insane work ethic, but he's also curious about how Destiny can get so many things done.
I noticed that you do like a lot of canvassing. Like you actually go out of your way. You launch your own like podcast with like other people, the bridges, and it's like, what is next really? Like, how do you kind of manage all that too? That's the other big thing that I kind of wanted to come into because it's like it really feels like you're a one-man show, but you're doing like a lot of shit and you're managing it pretty well.
Destiny's too lazy to cook for himself. He's not the workaholic with an excessively tight schedule he can never pull back. If Mutaha's stories about himself are true, he should not be impressed by Destiny at all. Mutaha also often claims that he's an immigrant and equates that to him being poor or his family being poor. He will say his father had to go through medical school twice, not recognizing the privilege of being able to go through it even once. You don't need to come up with all these hardships you've been through. Everyone can already see.
That part I also doesn't understand, going through medical school twice. Was he like getting double major? I know that doctors sometimes, I mean most often, do specialize in more than one thing, but
Your life is a struggle. You're not white, and you still can't say the N-word. He's got this other laugh about not buying anything.
that's a good one.
Expensive.
Very rarely am I trying to pay full price for any of this computer crap. You don't need to, all right? I don't overspend my money on crazy computer chairs. I think whatever I can get at Costco fits me fine enough. As far as my peripherals go, I have some SteelSeries headsets, keyboards, and a Logitech mouse, which I think is really awesome. If anything, I overspend on my monitors.
He's so frugal, but he also owns a luxury diving watch worth almost 10 grand. If you have an easy life because you were born to a rich family, just enjoy it. If you're rich, just enjoy being rich. Improve your production value. Get some acoustic treatment. Get some monitor arms. Show your audience that if you work hard and succeed in life, you can have nice things. Why not? So, was Ethan Klein right all along?
I upload every day and YouTube's not even my job. I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. But like, yes it is. Shut up, bro.
I'm not going to claim that Mutaha has absolutely no jobs beyond YouTube, even though the things he says about his business are very vague and inconsistent. However, he has definitely been lying about being an engineer for a decade, benefiting from the prestige, the authority, and the credibility that comes with that label. You don't call yourself an engineer dozens of times without specifying you're talking about programming jobs you did 10 years ago. He's clearly mostly just a self-taught tech enthusiast, not an engineer.
Okay. Pause this for a second. It took how much time to just download with 0.25 megabytes per second? Let's go with... Okay, so we actually do have Polish language, so I'll go with that just because why not? It might detect regions. No, we don't necessarily want you to auto start with the system, and I don't have even the slightest of the idea how that would work here.
He's seen as a cybersecurity expert or as a cybersecurity engineer, as he called himself.
This is why, as a cybersecurity engineer,
But when he assisted Nuxtaku in tracking down the V-Shoujo swatter, he fell for a basic social engineering trick, where the swatter, who was a minor, pretended to be one of Nux's fans who knew the swatter in real life, and fed them a bunch of bogus information.
I appreciate the random fan who was in that Discord server that actually contacted me and reached out to me about this stuff. Oh my god, you guys are legends, honestly.
V-Shoujo's cyber
Like, it's always like, I mean, I kind of understand that some amazing connections do arise on such situations, but how likely is that a guy does this and randomly you have a fan that knows that guy and knows what he did?
Security expert knew this was bullshit. The cybersecurity engineer did not. Mutahar doesn't do drama content anymore because it's all needless negativity, and YouTube isn't his job. However, he still weighed in on the pirate software drama after videos about it began going mega viral. What insight is Mutahar, the computer engineer who knows all of this shit, going to weigh in with?
No. Right now, as a video editor, I do more engineering now, so back-end programming for effects work. I'm working on a new codec for video right now for H.265, so we can actually transmit better video quality at higher resolutions. I'm actually doing something
A new codec for a codec.
which I want to sell to Microsoft at some point later on. So I've been designing AI toolset that basically you can inject, hopefully, into like video tools, and this could be like video games or whatever, right? So it's like, let's say that Microsoft backwards compatibility, right? So I had this tool idea. This is kind of what I got going in my head. So I had this idea, and I hope to one day sell it to Microsoft, right? So what I do is, since I have a really good video background, right? I've been designing neural stuff around it. So what I want to do one day is, you know how Microsoft has backwards compatibility, right? So would it be really fun if I could design a way that Microsoft could take the textures in their video games, right? So they could take the textures mapped in their video games and find a way to...
Like, so many useless words thrown together.
AI upgrade them. So like basically use a fucking photo AI, like basically use an artificial intelligence that can scan across, you know, all these textures and just fucking upscale them to like 4K, 8K, whatever they want to go to, and make games look better without needing, you know, developers.
I wonder when this was said, but basically AI upscaling, which is pretty much done. I mean, Nvidia has some tool sets, which I don't think are very highly popular right now. I think, you know, people who know, they just know. But they've had some solutions where basically it hooked into the engine of a game and it done precisely that and more.
To make it better, right?
By the way, something weird is happening with our Battle.net installer. I might have needlessly minimized it. And then everything broke. And I think what's worse... Oh, installation completed. Okay. Error could not be found. Okay. Okay, let's try and remove everything. Oh, it's searching for installed games. No, I was afraid it will have to. It would download for 40 minutes again. Okay, maybe let's go with English this time.
Right? That could be an idea for me. It sounds simple on paper. Obviously, it's very, very, very fucking time-consuming to make it even as effective as you want.
He knows how to program video encoders. He knows graphics APIs and AI tools in 2019. What does he know in 2025? What can he add?
One of the code bases that we're looking at over here is this falling particle. Now, there's a lot of numbers that are being dropped in here, and one of the things that you'll tend to see in Pirate Software's code is magic number abuse.
Nothing unique, nothing new, nothing that Coding Jesus didn't say in his video, which Mutahar...
And I think this is the problem we have. Why do we have this bad file descriptor error? Oops, oops. Okay, so maybe this one failed because the old one was also working in the background.
keeps mentioning.
There's nothing wrong with having shit code, right? There's nothing wrong with being bad at it. I'm not a fucking great coder either. I'm actually doing something which I want to sell to Microsoft at some point later on, but I'm also not claiming to be this crazy fucking guru hacker expert in the world.
Yeah, for the past 10 years you've been claiming to be an engineer, a computer science engineer, a cybersecurity engineer. You fuck with code.
Dude, I'm a fucking computer engineer.
I'm a YouTuber. Why are you asking me?
Code.
You do programming as a hobby, but when it comes to showing your knowledge, you only know the basics. Now you're here judging someone for inflating their credentials. At least Pirate Software's lies didn't break the law. At least...
Server sock assertion failed. You know what? Let's watch this to the end, and then I will reboot the PC and we'll see if it still persists.
He actually worked at Blizzard for 7 years.
Again, when you have an ego, you gotta be able to match it with the skill. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that skill is all the way there, unless that skill is making a whole lot of spaghetti code. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, I'm out.
Man, what a great way to end a video. Let's check out some of those comments. We love reading the comments from regular commenters like Mr. Obvious. I wonder what he's into.
Mr. Obvious says, my feel win, I might as well be all for. And then we see some lolly here, featuring some underage characters. Here's 2 more drawings of underage characters posted by Mr. Obvious. Kinda strange, isn't it? Mr. Obvious says, boys, heart emoji. And then underneath that, we can see a photo of an underage girl who is pulling anal beads out of her anus using her feet. That's quite the talent.
Oh.
Let me line up and get ready, boys. Let me read that shit all day.
So, that was my appetizer for my upcoming video. Given his inconsistent stories, Mutahar is either lying about his job and business, or he tells really pathetic made-up stories about them to sound more interesting. Once again, I am not a lawyer. It might not be illegal for Mutahar to lie about being an engineer, but by any reasonable definition, he is a total fraud. He has no computer engineering degree, or even a computer science degree, but he still presents himself as an engineer, a computer engineer, or a computer science engineer. He is not trained in this field, and he is not employed at these roles. He is a self-taught hobbyist, a dilettante, not an engineer. Despite admitting that he hasn't been an engineer in years, not that he ever was, he continues to introduce himself as one, letting his audience's imagination run wild and conclude him to be far more qualified than he actually is. It does not matter that he seldom admits to being a former engineer or that he hasn't been an engineer in years. The bigger picture that he's painting to his audience is that he is a licensed, actively practicing engineer, which, based on his own statements, isn't true and cannot be true.
Max is the thinnest skinned bitch that I've ever seen when it comes to taking actual criticism on the platform. There is a way back from the mistakes that he's made. It just involves being a man and taking actual criticism to account and realizing that, yes, your entire career was a lie. Maybe it's time to turn that around, but he doesn't really want to be doing that. He wants a win when he can't even carve one out.
Mutaha has been telling this lie for 10 years. This lie is almost too old for his friend Naxtaku to masturbate to.
Oh god, oh no, Mousy, what, you recognize these numbers?
What do the numbers mean, Mousy? What do they mean?
What do they mean?
Click on it!
Tell us!
I've never even pondered the thought that we could have Lolly and Guro and Bondage all.
Okay.
Child porn with Naxtaku, not realizing that in Canada, it fits under the legal definition of child porn.
Wait, you should have porn in those videos?
He tried to ignore it for months, but then Hassan Piker drew attention to my video. Mutaha panicked, and he threw Naxtaku under the bus while obfuscating his own culpability. The hit piece didn't land, so they settled everything in private, and still lie about what happened. Why did Mutaha make a 40-minute hit piece where he condemns someone over and over again? No reason, it was just a goof. And oopsie, he's not hiding anything. There was nothing incredibly immoral and disgusting that he was aware of and tolerated for years. Something he would condemn any other person for. But in this case, he swept it all away. They also were not the only ones who knew about it and stayed quiet. The truth will soon be revealed. Remember to subscribe to see it when it drops. Next time, things are going to be a little bit different.
No. Bad word.
One more thing.
At least where I live, in the
By the way, watching hentai is like,
like dox myself through
Who
this.
cares?
It's just a public service announcement. You shouldn't make it a habit of mentioning how far a certain location is from your house.
I actually called up a EB Games near my place, probably like minutes away.
Because of caption searches, every instance you've done it over the years can be found in seconds, giving potentially dangerous people the ability to triangulate the location of your house. Mutaha's fortunately only done it literally once, right after moving into his current house.
Now, of course, just to add further context, this house is like minutes away from the...
Now, I'm sure Mutaha's lying about the travel time estimate here, but just don't say anything like this. It sets a really bad example to other creators. You also shouldn't show a picture of yourself somewhere and forget to censor all the names of the stores, even when they are at an angle. I am not an IT guy, but I know how to do this.
Oi, you have to pay for that, young man. I'm a fucking computer engineer. I don't care.
okay. Pretty good expose piece. Pretty interesting. Like I said, it's just funny to watch people when they lie about their education. Like for me, that's the one thing that I find especially not irritating, but it draws my attention. Like I do think, like this is something I've been thinking about. Why there aren't many actual, like well-established IT professionals on YouTube that are at least popular? And I think the answer to my, like, you know, self-query is basically that they simply do not have time for that. Like some of the proper like YouTube creators are very, very niche because they create very technical content. I would say that it might be their fault for being kind of boring sometimes, but you know, it is how it is. If you are a professional, you do not necessarily want to make a clown out of yourself. And that's understandable. So maybe that's why they are not popular. But also they have to be really small in number because, you know, if you do 9 to 5 and you actually do some proper work. Like doing another 4 or 5 hours for a few days just to release a YouTube video is, you know, unless you can film your job and just use that as a video, as a YouTube material, but that's hard and not everything can be streamed. Oh yeah, I need to do the switcheroo. Oh, sorry, not this one. And we are back, and let's see if all of the audio syncs are working. Okay, not everything is working. Sadly, this doesn't work as easily as I wanted it to, but it should work now. Let's see.
He's been hacking our toilet.
Okay. I can see that audio is on both outputs. So let's give this Latris thing one more chance. Log on to latris.net. So right now we have a clean install, clean setup after boot. Let's try not to move anything. Let's try not to touch anything unnecessarily. And let's see whether this time Battle.net will install. And will we hit more than 70%? Because I think last time it was also like stuck on 70 something. $75. $76. $78. I mean, I'm pretty sure we didn't touch 80, so signal count failed. Oh, okay. By the way, where the fuck is minimize? I do like that it got like black and white when I clicked that I want to terminate. I was wondering where's the part where I choose the executable. But I guess I have to choose something that makes it not start via wine. We'll see. If this does not succeed, then I'll think I'll pass for today. I truly did not expect the initial download via Lutris to take like, 40 minutes. We pretty much watched almost all of the Mudahar expose piece. Oh. I don't know. Where can I change this so it's not like wine?
Płaszczyk się na... Okay, one last try, because I maybe was doing this. But I think that for WoW,
Why not? Let's try this one for a change. So like I said, 80 is the magic threshold. Wait, what? Hi, hello. And now it's randomly succeeded? Do not attempt to log in. Simply close it. Okay. So is this like some sort of a race condition? By the way, this is a very important piece of information that is pretty much blocked instantly whenever you start installing this with a Battle.net installator. Okay, but it has installed. What the hell? It's like some... I kinda understand that this might be a wine problem. It might be like assertions means that something within wine has tripped an assertion, and assertion most often just critically exit your applications. Are you planning to play a game or develop a game? I was planning to play World of Warcraft on Linux, but the task is more demanding than I expected it to be. Okay, that's a warning. I mean, one of the viewers on my Discord said that they have a problem with playing WoW on Archlinux, but they were able to play it. They basically have some problems that it crashes sometimes, and I was curious enough to try and check it out for myself, and as it turns out, it's not that easy. I see I have a quick question though. Ask away. If you have a gaming laptop running Windows in Windows OS, which OS will you change it and use it? If it runs Windows fine, then why change it? I mean, laptops are terrible, in my opinion, to use as gaming Linux machines. Like they have so many quirks. You might be screwed just because you have a weird model of a laptop that has some weird hardware quirks that are not necessarily supported or require a lot of messing around. Like, I know this is not necessarily a good advice or advice at all, but if you want to play games on Linux, don't get a laptop. If you really want to do it, try dual booting. Like, buy an additional HDD just to be extra safe, and just dual boot. Ouch, that hurts me. You know, I can only speak in the language of truth. Like, I like Linux, but I am not, you know, like, I don't really want to say stupid enthusiastic about it. I'm like a realist about Linux. I work with Linux, I like Linux, but I am very realistic when it comes to Linux. Okay, let's see if it will work now. And the moment of truth. Yikes. So an error has occurred and we were having pretty much the same thing previously, but okay. So we have Battle.net. Okay. Let's close it. Let's exit for now. Some men like your passion into it and being honest as well. Yeah. Not many people notice that. Attempting to wake it up. Like right now I am streaming from my MacBook, my work issued MacBook, from my desktop. I'm streaming my the Archlinux that's currently running on my desktop PC, which I am daily driving Windows on. So I am truly enlightened in terms of using all of the OSs. And on my work and on my other work laptop I have Archlinux. Okay. I have to say, like, really doing the World of Warcraft Battle.net is not so easy as doing GOG or Steam. Why do I have two icons here? Do you like traveling, gym, outdoor activities? Just want to know what you sacrifice and how you balance your daily life. You know what? If I could fire up World of Warcraft right now, or maybe I will manage to find this on YouTube. No, shit, they don't really have the quotes from the NPCs. It's basically this. By the way, do I even have audio? Yes, I have audio. It's either those are muted.
I'm gay.
I can't believe Legion was so long ago. Why does it seems like this is like a bloody race condition. It's so weird. You have audio clearly. I heard I'm gay part. That wasn't me, I swear. That was the YouTube vid. Why is this so shitty? Like I get that this is an effort to keep this up to date and compliant. But runner. Okay. So it does not necessarily work like that. Oh, this is the place. Okay, so it doesn't work like that. And it's broken, I think. Okay, sorry everyone. It's almost 2 hours and I don't think I have the energy to crack this on tonight. But I do think I have my starting point. And I do think that I know now what I need to research in order to have more information filled stream for next time. So yeah, I mean, not necessarily a success, but I think I'll go off stream and maybe play some games. I need to finish some PS5 titles in my library. I need to finally finish Metaphor ReFantasio. I mean, this is like it might be that I will come back to this next week or in a few days. There'll be an update and everything will just work. But as for now, I just don't see it. So yeah, big thanks to you all for being here basically today with me, and I'll hope I'll see you next time. Cheers.